Hey my darlings, welcome back to yet another broadcast session with Elita. I'm going to see if we can get that last thing in the variant dungeon done. There's one more to get, I'm not sure how to get it, but I'm gonna hazard a guess, so hopefully... Ooh, I didn't realise that those like switched on and off. Oh, they're pretty. Right, anyway, getting distracted. Where's my reindeer mount? I never showed that off last time. There we are, reindeer. Presents! Presents! But yeah. Anyway. I am going to try and get this last variant dungeon done. It should be the left path, because the other two paths have had 4. Oh, we have to go this way in Animal, I think. Oh, we just simply that then. These creatures look distinctly unfriendly, if you would be so kind. Barely a test of your knife, I see. Well done. I think we can walk through his pipe. We can walk through his pipe, I think. Some manner of rodent. Surely even I can best a couple of mice. Ah! Not mice! Not mice! Definitely not mice! My poor heart. Strange to think these pipes lie unseen, just yams beneath the streets of Ul'dah. All yours, Elita. That culvert at the back is positively clogged. Would more water flush out the mud, I wonder? I'm thinking we avoid that. And then continue on and choose the wrong 2 items. These waterways are in dire need of maintenance. I must arrange something with the palace custodians. Negative care? Why would it make it there in this muddy pit? What is that noise? Something coming from down the drainage pipes? If you're playing games, mind the barrel tops, there must be a reason for those markings. Charge and send it that way. So I'm over here. taking him that way. So we go over here. Let's them down. And victory is yours. I am blessed to keep company with such a formidable ally. The path leads on. So yeah, down there is where you would go if all this greenery makes for a nice change. And look, have you ever seen fruits like these? The fruit must have drawn them here. Challenge around every corner. Bother, my key was not made to open this gate. Says here 2 eyes are needed to see. 2 eyes. Some manner of riddles, do you suppose? 2 eyes. Is it metaphorical? I think when I did this with my friends, we took like 2 of the green ones. So let's try taking 2 of the yellow ones. Aha, that seemed to do the trick. So the result itself yet confounds me. A puzzle for another day. Such fluffy, puffy flowers. I know this creature. This is a silky, a familiar which cleaned the palace once upon a time. Strange, his ethos was oddly, well, familiar, if you would pardon the pun. See that bubble around its stuff? That must be how it channels its cleaning magic. I think it's exactly the same as what we did last time, though. All those puffs in a row, you're thirsty, you're best to avoid them. Keep on your toes, rather. What's there on you? Let's see. The silk now. I feel they mean business. don't think that unlocked anything. The Silky's ether. It had the exact same feel as Mother's. My, what a beautiful garden. See how the sunlight falls upon the flowers just so. Mother was the one to protect this place. Why else let the Silky to guard it? I imagine her coming here with Father to simply sit and enjoy the tranquility. A shelf full of cutlery and a table made for two. This is a haven for joyful memories. Mother, Father, I will do all in my power to see that the sanctuary remains unspoiled. Whilst I would like to linger still, I fear Papa Sham will soon note my absence. Let us be away. Let's see, did I get any journal entries? I don't think I did. No. Let's try interacting. There's more things. I think it was 2 green ones we used. I'll try 2 green ones this time. I'll try switching the water on. See if that makes a difference. 3 more gates to see we have a choice to make. No, Nanamo, you're going the wrong way. It's this one we don't have a 4th one on. Why that one? Oh well, adventuring was best. Unless there's 5 on one of the other paths. I would assume there's 4 entries for each path. This seems just very awkward to find. I don't think there's anything here that modifies it. Am I missing something obvious? We can't go across there. We can walk through this pipe, I think. Yeah, I know we can walk through the pipe now. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything in these side tunnels that might be of use. No, Nothing up there. There was a doorway in one of the other routes that did something different when I entered it. Because it caused an extra dialogue with an animal, which caused an extra journey actually to happen. So maybe it's something similar to that. And we've got to find a secret entryway. Godsmith were hurt. Strange to think that these giant pipes lie unseen, just jams beneath the streets of Elita. Okay, nothing up there. I'm not seeing anything else that I can interact with. Oh, here's Elita. Lots of little pipes here. That culvert at the back is positively clogged. Would more water flush out the mud, I wonder? Right, so let's flush out the mud this time. Oh, that redirected the water flow. It is the first I've seen such a mechanism at work. Flushed away the mud. Don't think it's done anything else out here. Where do you suppose that water went to? Maybe I could find where the water went. Nothing along here. Nothing along here. Boss time. Why the heck is there nearly down here? It seems it doesn't find such peacefully. Lesser mechanics of time. Keep playing games, mind the barrel tops, there must be a reason for smacking. Yeah, not a reason for smacking. Someone coming down the green part. And victory is yours. I am blessed to keep company with such a formidable ally. And this area is of course shut off now. And now we go through this side instead. Ah, that breeze feels wonderful after the stuffy closeness of the tunnels. Our respite was short-lived, I see. What I'm supposed to do. Nope, it didn't open that. Anything special here? No. A challenge around every corner. And that's where the fruits are, where the other creatures would have been. I don't know whether I'm supposed to go that way or this way to get like the next thing. Go up here and down here. And around. I just put 2 green ones down to do the trick. I'm pretty sure we did 2 green ones last time. It was 4 of us. Doesn't look like anything's opened up. Brother, my key was not made to open this gate. It says 2 eyes are needed to see. 2 eyes. Some manner of riddles, do you suppose? These 2 green ones. Ah, that seemed to do the trick. So the riddle itself yet confounds me. A puzzle for another day? damn thing in here. I don't know what these things are supposed to do. Maybe by standing in it? Or do something? Such puffy, fluffy flowers. Maybe I've got to like standing these in a certain order. See. Or maybe I'm only supposed to step in certain ones. I'll try a different one each time, see if that works. There's something up here. Oh, that's the teleport area. I must be missing something. Anyways, creature is Draconia. A change came to pass once upon a time. Change, it feels awfully familiar if we appeared in the past. I think this is just the same as what we got last time. Here, bubble around its puff. That must be how it channels its healing magic. Oh, this is new. Is it a battle or a spot spring cleaning? What's the right result now appearing in business? That's something? Nice. I think I had to stand on the puff piles in a certain order. An ornate whistle that, when blown, emits a squeaky clean tone that summons a silky to your side. In Silky's ether, it had the exact same feel as Mother's. My, what a picturesque scene! See how the sunlight falls upon the flowers just so. I wonder, could this be the sanctuary of which my parents spoke? They told me of a private place to which they would slip away, a haven from the bustle of palace life. Mother always called it their secret garden. And assuming that giant mouse's sulky was hers, then I imagine it was here to protect their special spots. Finding this place must be the reason Father gave me the key. One reason at least. Whilst I should like to linger still, I fear Papa Sham will soon note my absence. Let us be away. Whom the Silky serves. What a surprise to learn that the old palace Silky was a creation of Mother's. The discovery impelled me to pursue the topic with Papa Sham, who of anyone besides Father knew my mother best of all. Naturally I was circumspect in my inquiries, lest he become aware of my subterranean explorations. With fond remembrance, Papa Sham spoke of Mother's penchant for cleaning, a habit she refused to surrender, even after taking up residence in the royal chambers. Her ladies-in-waiting were positively scandalized, and hid away every brush and broom that the Sultana's hands could not be sullied by common grime. Denied the usual tools of sanitation, Mother retaliated by employing a Charlatan tutor, whereby she acquired arts necessary to manifest a massive mouse-like familiar. Ingrained with an obsessive dislike of dirt, this arcane entity would even corner the palace guards to scrub spots from their armour, to the great amusement of the household staff. Then one day, without fanfare, the Silky was simply gone. I suspect the cause of its disappearance lay in the deepening conflict with the monetarists. With less and less time to slip away from the palace, Mother likely set her familiar to protect and maintain her secret garden in her absence. Yet what a stubborn and wilful soul she was! To create a servant for cleaning is one thing, but to imbue it with such unbridled power is quite another. Pride and acceptance. With a mind to prepare for future explorations, I began trawling through the palace archives in search of documents, with even a tangible mention of Silda. For the most part, however, the shelves held little in the way of new information. The only account to snare my attention was that of an Oldan soldier, who had written his experiences fighting alongside the Amalja during the zombie purge. His report touched upon a different approach his new allies took to warfare, and how those differences impeded their cooperative efforts. It was said that the undead which flooded the waterways were beyond counting, and varied wildly in individual strength. The most effective strategy, or so the soldier believed, was to focus their efforts on the weaker zombies, and thus whittle the horde down to a more manageable size. Not so the Amalja. When presented with the choice, the proud warriors would always seek to slay their mightiest enemies first. This display of superiority, they explained to the exasperated Oldan, was the best way to wage war. To do otherwise, to begin an engagement with the latter foe, would cast doubt upon one's martial prowess. They would seemingly learn to respect each other's reasoning, yet ultimately sought their battles as the people's preferred. The Oldan soldier returned to his former targeting the weakest undead for his initial assaults. An interesting point of culture mayhap, but a helpful one? That remains to be seen. A spot in the sunlight. He, a member of the royal family, she, the daughter of a modest merchant house. They met at a palace banquet, an opportunity to mix with the notables of commerce, and it was love at first sight. Ah, I adore that story. 'Tis so very romantic. Mother would go on to tell me of the secluded place her and father would visit, ere they were bound in marriage, of some dappled garden at the end of a secret tunnel, where they could enjoy each other's company away from prying eyes and judgmental stares. In other words, a perfect description of the sanctuary we discovered on our recent foray. When they did at last announce the details of their engagement, the location of this magical place where father proposed to mother became the subject of much rumour and debate. I am told that the city's merchants, being the same incorrigible creatures then as they are now, seized this furor to turn a tidy profit. They never did come close to the truth of it, but after visiting the spot myself, it is easy to see why it remained undisturbed. I imagine the two of them in their younger years, whiling away an idle moment amidst the stone-kissed petals, their haven protected beneath a barrier of flannel and scorching sand, and I cannot help but smile. Never until now have I managed to think of them without a pang of sadness. Have I been captive to grief for so very long? A key memory. On my 5th name day, my parents gifted me with a key wrought in silver, but not the knowledge of what it opened. When you are a woman grown, we will take you to the precious place this key protects, Mother had explained. Father had nodded, saying it was where slumbers the memories which neither we nor Ulda should ever forget. I, a child of 5, understood only that I was being forced to wait for my true present. Oh, how I had sulked and fumed back then, yet now I cling to that fading recollection with desperate fingers, like a failed merchant to her dwindling coin purse. 'Twas too soon when Mother and Father were called away to Thal's eternal halls. Their sudden absence left me hollow and dazed, my ascension to the throne followed by torturous days of uncertainty steeped in sorrow. It seemed I stumbled across the desert, the sands burning one moment, freezing the next. All thoughts of keys and secret places were cast aside, forgotten. Why had they entrusted such a portentous gift to a daughter so young? Had they foreseen the accident which would befall them, or had other factor influenced their actions? Their true intentions are lost to time. There is only one thing I can know for certain, that the key was left in my hands for good reason. In Father's stead, the Amalja constructed Sanrak when they came to join Ulda in purging the undead manifestation from the subterrane. And if Saharak was their main war camp, then the old fortifications we passed through would have served as a forward base. The question then is, why did my parents gift me the means to visit these rusted defences? In my late father's possessions was a diary which made reference to irrefutable evidence of the alliance. Mayhap there is more to the place we have yet to discover. In life, Father was a staunch opponent of the edict to banish the so-called beast tribes. Arrayed against him were the monetarists, who sought to preserve the special concessions and privileges by ousting their competitors. 'Twas with the backing of the syndicate that they overruled the Sultan's will, and forced their proposal into law. Unwilling to concede defeat, Father intended to take the battle to the court of public consensus. His weapons would not be forged documents of records, but physical proof of the Amalja contribution to Ulda's continued prosperity. Then the accident happened, ending his plans to appeal for harmony ere they could truly begin. Which brings us back to this mention of evidence. I know not what form it might take, or indeed if it yet even exists, but should a thorough search of that forgotten base provide us with clues, we are on the cusp of brokering a lasting peace with the Amalja. If I can but discover this elusive proof, then the aspirations Father had for our nation may finally become a reality. Ulda's sin to bear. When the Amalja champion burst forth from his casket, the blood nigh froze within my veins. He must have suffered injury during the purge, the zombie corruption finding its way into his flesh. The trader's sperm was concocted by Uldan thaumaturges and employed by the reigning sultan during her war with Silda. Sasagan III even knowingly propagated the fiction that it was the Suldans who devised this abhorrent alchemy in an effort to turn their own citizens into undying soldiers. An accusation from the House of Thorn saw Sasagan III later punished for his heinous acts, and thus ended the First Old Dynasty. His lies, however, would live on to become accepted history. The deceit was upheld by a desire to preserve not only Old Dynasty's authority, but also standing the Order of Nathal, an institution deeply entwined with thaumaturgical practices. And it can be said that a few Oldans would wish to accept that their home was built upon the corpse of a city so brutally slain by their forebears. Yet without a clear view of the past, we cannot be sure of our course for the future. The sight of that rotten Amalja hero was all too stark a reminder. As a Sultana of the House of Ol, I bear responsibility for my ancestors' atrocities, and though we suffer for the truth, even as Ishkar did for hers, the time has come to set the records right. To learn more of the myth, to learn more of Mur, I wish to consult with the Amalja over a certain facet of our expedition, yet I could hardly bring up the subject during one of our regular councils. Should it become known that the royal person had been slipping out of the palace to conduct secret investigations, then my trusted escort would be caught up in an unpleasant storm of repercussions. Nay, I must be discreet. As such, I approached the Amalja war chief at meeting's end, and engaged him with the usual pleasantries, eventually steering the conversation to tribal custom. I explained that the coffin of a zombie-cursed warrior had been discovered within Ulda territory, and wondered at the traditional rites one might perform to send his kin's unfortunate soul to the afterlife. Somewhat taken aback, the war chief advised that it was paramount importance to avoid disturbing the warrior's undead slumber. Leave the coffin untouched, he warned. Stand facing the valorous spirit, perform a single bow, offer your respects for a life well lived, celebrate the warrior's greatest victory, and then kneel in a moment's reflection. Thus did the Amalja mourn comrades fallen on the field of battle, burning myrrh incense at the culmination of the ritual to guide their sanctified souls into the everlasting flame. In receiving his answer, I was suddenly struck by a cavalcade of questions I had never thought to ask. I felt ashamed at my ignorance, and am now resolved to learn more of this proud people's culture. Ulda and Silda. When Bella Dia splintered into Ulda and Silda, the division only deepened with time. The history books tell the tale of escalating hostilities, how the advent of the traders spurned devastated the Sildans, and brought the conflict to a horrific end. Ulda would later migrate to the site of the fallen metropolis, where even now the ruins of the past dot the landscape, or lie hidden from view underground. Such remnants proved useful when routing the municipal waterways, and so did they refer to this section of the subterrane as Sildan aqueducts. Given that the war turned savage over water sources, it seemed to me a distinction of particularly ghoulish sensibilities. Distasteful naming aside, it should come as no surprise that these old tunnels fed into other vestiges of Silda, and yet As I was wholly unprepared to set foot in the royal palace itself, had the structure been exposed above ground, the wind-driven sand coupled with the heat of the Thanalan sun would have led to extensive erosion. But cocooned beneath the earth as it was, its chambers have been perfectly preserved. How rare it must be to encounter ruins with such an unsoiled state. It will provide our historians with a wealth of material to study, assuming they can navigate the intervening passages. We must clear the way, first and foremost, and secure a safe path through. Raising the flags. When we came across the banner of Solda, so alike to our Oldan flag, I was reminded that the first Soldans of those warring nations were twin brothers. Yet the reason behind the design similarity has not to do with sibling imitation. In Belial's time, 'twas the flame of magic and the fruit of knowledge which sat on the scales of judgment. Ulda took the flame as its own, balancing the scales with a gem of affluence, while Silda claimed the fruit and set it against the helm of might. Each thought himself the rightful heir, and thus did both raise flags depicting the bounties of Beladia. Both included a symbol of strength, but the difference lay in its interpretation. Ulda believed in the potency of its magics, Silda in its military might. The gladiators who train in our Colosseum are mayhap the closest embodiment of Sildan philosophy. In fact, reflecting on the encounter now, the fierce gladiator construct lurking in the palace depths could not have been a more apt incarceration of their beliefs. From the exquisite embossment of grapes upon its formidable helm, to the way its gleaming form, the same silvery hue as Silda's scales, illuminated this subterranean gloom. Through all these years did it stand patient guard, faithfully serving a master, centuries dead, and a nation long since fallen into ruin. 'Tis enough to turn one's mood melancholy. My mother's eyes. How in the name of Nalthal did that burglar manage to creep into the treasure chamber, sealed off from the outside world for generations? Aside from the gate only my key could open, I saw no other means of entering the ruins. Although considering the prevalence of secret doors and passages in its construction, their remnants may well have been entrances of which I am simply not aware. Yet in spite of this mystery, I find myself lingering on the scrawled note that our thief left behind. The first item was an obvious reference to Nashakite, which must somehow relate to one of the ruins. Many riddles. 'Tis how it relates to me, however, that truly has my thoughts in a jumble. Nashakite was the name of Oldan's jewellers game to the high-quality malachite, excavated from the reopened Copperbell mines. This was after the calamity, of course, and thus I took umbrage at these merchants using my late mother's name as a means to promote their wares. And then I was presented with a sample. 'Twas as if the gentle sparkle of mother's eyes was captured within the stone. Much to my chagrin, I found myself forced to agree that Nashakite was the perfect fit for this gem of exquisite green. The Thorn Legacy. Silda Aqueducts, Thorn, Vault. I noticed these words scribbled on the back of the burglar's note we found, but was too preoccupied to give them much thought at the time. Did the intruder believe that a secret cache of Thorn riches was to be found somewhere at the waterways? An odd notion, given that the House of Thorn was well known for its honesty and integrity. After all, it was the Sultan of their dynasty who willingly transferred power back to the House of Ul, and there was nary a peep to imply any wrongful withdrawals from the royal treasury. Assuming they had secreted wealth in some hidden location, It would have been done with the full cooperation of the old family, with the particulars passed down to the successive sultans. Father would have known of the arrangement, and he did speak of slumbering memories, which should not be forgotten. Was this one of the things my parents wished me to see when I came of age? I have discovered 100 potential scenarios for what they might have meant, each more fanciful than the last, and although the Sultan Palace was indeed an eye-opening discovery, I sense that Father alluded the matter of even deeper import. In parchment we trust. Deep beneath Ul'dah, beyond the twisting tunnels of Sildan Aqueduct, we have discovered a vault, in which slumbered a precious legacy. In its centre, a catalogue of evidence emblazoned with the words, "For coin, country, and comrades in arms, we bequeath this trust to the House of Ol." This solemn declaration, signed by the last Sultan of Thorn, was followed by several pages of florid signatures, a procession of Ul'dah rulers, which ends with the name of my own father, and wedged there betwixt one page and the next, a faded missive penned in his distinctive hand, addressed with the hopes that the reader might be our darling Nanamo. The letter describes the purpose of the vault. 'Tis a place known only to the royal heirs, a secure archive wherein evidence of Uldah's alliance with the Amalja is preserved. And though tradition dictated that this trust be passed on by word of mouth, Father felt that should worst come to worst, 'twas safer to have an explanation committed to parchment. Dearest Nanamo, we wonder what manner of woman you have become. We know the role of Sultana will challenge you in myriad ways, but no matter how your rule unfolds, remember that you shall ever be our greatest achievement. Seize what happiness you may each day, for joy is worth more than all the guilt in Ul'dah. Mother, Father, be assured 'tis not sorrow which causes these tears to fall, but overwhelming pride. Now in this moment, I am simply happy to be your daughter. And there we go. Those are all the notes. And I feel like this was a nice place to end the note reading. So, I just got an achievement. An ornate whistle that, when blown, emits a squeaky clean tone that summons the Sulky to your side. There it is. Encountered in the depths of the Sildan subterrane, this arcane entity was a familiar of former Sultana Nanasha ul-Nasha, who created it to keep the royal palace squeaky clean. Contrary to its appearance, the palm on its tail is the actual being, rather than the mouse-like creature. I'm counting on ye to clean up this mess, by Blodine. There we go. This is the mousey. Mousey, mousey, mouse. It squeaks! It squeaks when you jump! Let's take it someplace where we can fly. Oh my god, look! It's flying with the little bit on his tail! That's so cute. Whee! I didn't see this one fly, did we? Yeah, it doesn't have any magical sort of thing flying. That's best it can. Alright, let's go to Old Shirley. Oh, he calls me his tormentor. Osman and I do work well together. My herbal pulses soothe his book-weary eyes, and I benefit from his nigh encyclopedic knowledge on, oh, damn, near everything. It's a symbiotic relationship. Nothing worth sharing right now? Oh, does this mean you're putting together a carefully curated account of exciting exploits to regale me with later? I can hardly wait to hear it. Because I've seen things worse came from here. I got that already. I have enough of that if I want it. Wow, requires an entire 27 just to get that. And 27 to get those two, and another 18 to get those. Anyway, take care, my beloved darlings. See you all later. Take care for now. Bye bye.